providing information to you exactly why we're gathered here, which is in relation to an unfortunate or unfortunate incident regarding some assaults on our media fraternity in relation to the ongoing Ablekuma North by-election that is ongoing currently. A very unfortunate incident. The details will be brought to our attention, and the very actions that the GJ is taking or will be taking in regards will be brought to our attention. Since today is the very first day that we were sworn in, and also today, in fact, this ceremony is the very first of activities that the Ghana Journalists Association is performing right after inauguration. I think it's proper that we introduce to you the new crop of executives with the permission of the president, Mr. Ejiofor. That we introduce to you the new crop of executive that was sworn in at a very beautiful but brief ceremony today that was chaired, presided over, and also attended by the Vice President of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Ajima. So we all know that Mr. Ablekuma has been re-elected. Let's clap for him. He's been re-elected to solidify his gains and also to continue with the very good things that he's done, and to ensure that the legacy that he set out is brought up to the expectation of the journalists in Ghana. And of course, whatever he's been doing has been embraced by journalists, and which is why they have given him the mandate. So thank you all very much. Mr. Ablekuma is your new GJA president, newly sworn in. A round of applause. All dressed in white for him. Thank you.
Good afternoon, colleagues.
Good afternoon.
Oh, are we here? I thought we've all been refreshed, we are satisfied, we have renewed energy, renewed vigor to start the new term. Yes, the journey with us. In fact, we thought that after a very successful swearing in, we're going to have some rest to reflect on what to do for the good people or the vulnerable members of this association. Little did we know that some evil ones were planning evil against us. Once again, good afternoon.
Yes.
We want to thank you for responding to our invitation even at a short notice. Colleagues, the National Executive of the GJA is saddened and worried that today that we had a beautiful swearing-in ceremony after a successful election which calls for celebration. Some of our colleagues have been subjected to inhuman treatment at the parliamentary election rerun or citizens. Such actions by a police officer do not only undermine public trust in the security agencies, but also severely tarnish the image of Ghana as a country that respects human rights and press freedom. We have seen the statement by the police administration which announced the interdiction of the officer involved in the attack. The GJA commends the police administration for the swift action, but we demand an immediate, thorough, and transparent criminal investigation into this matter, since it's a case of assault. And assault is a second-degree felony. We call on the Inspector General of Police, IGP, Christian Tetenyonu, to act and ensure that swift and decisive disciplinary action is taken to serve as deterrent to others. We want the police to be bold in prosecuting their own officer involved in the dastardly act. This time, the full glare. And it's captured. It's captured. Yes. It's captured on camera. The video circulating. We can all see it. Everyone can witness it. Somebody drew my attention that assault is not second-degree felony, but we have said that a premeditated assault is very grievous, because before somebody will attack a journalist, meaning that it's something that the person has planned. That this area, since I'm here, I will not allow any journalist to come here. And the reason he tried to avoid or try to prevent our colleague from discharging his constitutional duty. So we see it to be what premeditated, something that has been planned already. And so we cannot treat it as a what? As a felony, as a how do we call it? Misdemeanor, sorry. We can't treat it as a mere misdemeanor. Police, I believe that this is a serious issue and cannot be treated as a mere misdemeanor. We know what the police can do. Sometimes they will have to met out weak charges just for the person to get weak sentences. This time around, we are going to follow this matter closely with all seriousness. We are going to follow this matter, monitor it closely with all seriousness, with our lawyers involved. Justice must be served for Mr. Banahim. A clear signal must be sent that such impunity will not be tolerated within the Ghana Police Service. We urge all security agencies to educate their personnel on the critical role of the media in a democratic society, and to respect the right of journalists to work without fear or intimidation. We are not going to sit down for the police to toy with us and pretend as if they are doing their work. You cannot issue a 2-paragraph or 3-paragraph statement and expect us to trust that you are doing this work. Mr. IGP, you need to set up. We have said it. We are going to ensure that if you don't provide us with the security, we will ensure that we will use the weapons available to us to protect ourselves. If the system is broken, we will fix it. And so that is what I'm saying, that we are going to ensure that the police will not do anything in what? In darkness. They will not keep anything away from us and from the public. And that we are going to follow it. They should be transparent enough. We should know when the process starts. We should know what charges they are going to prefer to him. We should know the interrogation, the charges when they are going to process him to court. We won't sit down here and they will say that he has been interdicted. And so it's enough. He has to face criminal charges. And that is what we are saying. And it must be transparent. You understand? We all know the process. Have they cautioned him? Because the statement just came out. Where is he now? As it because if a police officer is involved in this, he should be by now detained. Have they cautioned him? Have they granted him bail? On what condition? So we are saying that today is Friday. We are giving the police up to Monday to come out with a full state of investigation report on this matter, involving their own man. And like I said, under this tenor, or this term of President Jufo, we are not going to take it kindly with the security agency, especially the Ghana Police Service. Christian Yolu and your men and women in uniform, you must sit up. It is time to ensure that the safety and security of journalists are not compromised. We will make sure we will hold you to discharge your constitutional mandate by protecting what? Lives and properties, and enforcing law and order in this country. Thank you so much. And property in this country is the men, our men and women in uniform, the police, and they are the people, they are even attacking us. They should rather be attacking the macho men. They should rather be stopping the macho men. They should rather be ensuring that there is no oligarchy. It is very saddening and sad that the police administration under the current government, at least IGP, the first test, litmus test, is Ablekuma, and the public will attest whether the police are failed. or they pass the test. The first litmus test under Yonu, we are going to assess it as media, as public, as citizens of this country. You see whether the police has failed the litmus test or they pass. Thank you so much. Now, we have all of them are under the name oligarchism or tax. And oligarchism or tax is criminality. What are you getting me? Because we all know that even when civilians were exercising their democratic right, their civic right by protesting, and there were excesses in terms of excess of oligarchism, we saw what happened. They were remanded. They went behind bars for 2 weeks. So if there is such oligarchism, we as journalists, we need to make sure that we grab home, we amplify our voices by writing, by using our microphone and calling that this oligarchism must stop, must end. We are in the country governed by rule of law. And so we should let the law take its course. Why encourage oligarchism and that in a very, should I say, democratic environment? Colleagues, let's all help. I believe that Ghana, we have come far, and I hope that even though we have a long way to go, there's more room for improvement. It will take you and I to ensure that we guard and protect the democracy we are enjoying today. Thank you. Yamamo had the Ghana International Press Center. Now, and then, yeah, say, you told us that you are frame, and meeting about the Juano. Now, yes, sir, 8 years ago, now said, send you, yeah, how, yeah, we can say, yes, you need, and said that engine, oh, developed it, and I said, maybe be an apostle, and Mra, and then you did the elected. Newly elected one of Yato Abamo, Nansinya 30th June, the call post GG Agapuya Kedifua, and you do see Swa, almost swear, say, almost better than Witty Equini. Now, if you are not a year, and better say you celebrate and I did now so necessary about the Bishamoha, now yet and Shabbat will be between me. The Ghana Journalists Association vehemently condemns the brutal and unprovoked assault on our colleague, Mr. Kwabena Ajekum Banayene, a journalist with the EIB network, IEGH1 and Star FM, by a police officer who our checks reveal that he is a divisional commander of a whole division. But we want to uphold the division and the name for now. And a joint news reporter of the multimedia group, Salome Nati, while they were diligently covering the parliamentary election in the constitution, in a way, while they were discharging their constitutional mandate. This deplorable incident occurred at the moment when the Vice President of Ghana, the Excellency Professor Jinana Opoku Ajiman, and the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu, were giving assurances of supporting the GJA in the fight against attacks on journalists and ensuring a favorable environment for the media to operate at the swearing-in ceremony of the newly elected National Executive of the GJA in Accra. This stark contrast between stated commitment and on the ground reality is deeply alarming, unfortunate, and unacceptable. Video circulating clearly captured the uniformed officer slapping Mr. Banahini, despite the journalist being visibly identifiable in a branded outfit and performing his duty. According to our colleague Banahini, he was covering activities at the polling area when the officer approached and demanded that he leave the premises, and he told him he could not do so because if he leaves, he would not be able to report on the event that unfolded behind him. And let me say that as journalists, one of our core responsibility is to what? Shed light on darkness. This is one of our responsibility. That wherever there is darkness and there's a media, or the media show up, definitely there's going to be light. You are going to expose the hill. Mr. Boye narrated, and I quote, suddenly he shoved me and slapped me across the face without any provocation. I had not wronged anyone, unquote. He said the force of the slap left his eyes shaking, praying that he would not suffer any long-term damage. This egregious act is a direct assault on press freedom, a fundamental pillar of our democracy, and a blatant disregard for the rule of law. We are told Mr. Banahini explicitly identified himself as a journalist and explained why he was present at the polling station. However, the officer reportedly ordered him to vacate the premises before assaulting and injuring him. The GJ is glad that Mr. Banahini has filed an official complaint with the police and also visited the hospital in the area for treatment. We understand that he has been discharged and has been given some medicine, but he is still experiencing pains in the eye. The GJA views this incident with the utmost gravity and is appalled that officers in uniform who are expected to know better and protect civilians and journalists against attack are the ones callously attacking journalists. Ladies and gentlemen, journalists play an indispensable role in ensuring transparency, accountability, and public access to information, especially during critical electoral process. Any attempt to intimidate, harass, or physically harm journalists in the line of duty is an affront to democratic principles and must be condemned in the strongest possible terms.